Hello everyone. Today I am going to discuss about the topic Doctrine of Estoppel under Indian Evidence Act 1872. Estoppel literally means to stop. Estopped means stopped, which means a person is not allowed or permitted to speak contrary to his earlier statement. For example, when person A by act or words gives person B reason to believe a certain set of facts upon which person B takes action, then A cannot later to his benefit deny those facts or say that his earlier act was improper. Section 115 to 117 of the Indian Evidence Act 1872 deals with the provisions relating to doctrine of estoppel. Doctrine of estoppel is that provision which prohibits a person from giving false evidence by preventing them from making contradictory statements in a court of law. The objective of this doctrine is to avert the commission of fraud by one person against another person. This doctrine holds a person accountable for false representations made by him either through his words or through his conduct. For example, if Ram is an employee of company XYZ, but in court he denies to be an employee of that company, then later on he could not claim the salaries and emoluments from that company. The term estoppel is derived from the maxim allegens contraria non est audiendus, which implies a person alleging contradictory facts should not be heard, and it is the species of presumptio juris et de jure, wherein the fact presumed is taken to be true against the party stating the same. The principle of estoppel was established in the case Pickard versus Sears, where one by his words or conduct willfully causes another to believe the existence of certain state of things and induces him to act on that belief so as to alter his own previous position. The former is concluded from averring against the latter a different state of things as existing at the same time. The doctrine established in this section is not a rule of equity, rather rule of evidence applied in the court of law. There are certain exceptions to the doctrine of estoppel. The doctrine does not apply when both parties have the entire knowledge of the things in their matter. Estoppel cannot be applied against statutes and regulations. It should not come in conflict with the statutes and regulations. It cannot be applied against the sovereign acts or the government. Section 115, 116 and 117 of the Indian Evidence Act deals with the provisions of doctrine of estoppel. Section 115 of the Indian Evidence Act incorporates the meaning of estoppel as when one person, either by his act or omission or by declaration, has made another person believe something to be true and persuaded that person to act upon it, then in no case can he or his representative deny the truth of that thing later in the suit or in the proceedings. In simple words, estoppel means one cannot contradict, deny, or declare to be false the previous statement made by him in the court. In the leading case Pickard versus Sears, the court held that estoppel is where one party by his words or actions makes a representation. The other party believing in his words acts on that or alters his position. Section 115 of the Indian Evidence Act lays down the conditions necessary for the application of doctrine of estoppel. The first condition is that the representation must be made by one person to another person. Second one, the representation must be made as to facts and not as to the law. The third essential condition for the application of doctrine of estoppel is the representation must be made as to an existing fact. and the representation must be made in a manner which makes the other person believe that it is true. The person to whom representation is being made must act upon that belief. The person to whom the representation would be made should suffer a loss by such representation. Section 116 of the Indian Evidence Act prevents and disables the tenant from denying the title of the landlord at the beginning. No tenant in possession shall be permitted to challenge or question the title of landlord at the time of commencement of tenancy. And no person who came upon any immovable property by the license of the person in possession thereof shall be permitted to deny that such person had a title at the time when the license was given. The doctrine is generally recognized that a tenant is estopped while the tenancy continues to deny the title of his landlord. For example, if A leases his land to B and B takes the possession and starts paying the rent, and later on A sells the land to Z, then B starts making payment to Z. Here B and Z have formed the tenant-landlord relationship and B cannot deny the title of Z afterwards. According to Section 117 of the Indian Evidence Act, no acceptor of a bill of exchange shall be permitted to deny that the drawer had authority of draw such bill or to endorse it, nor shall any bailee or licensee be permitted to deny that his bailer or licenser had, at the time when the bailment or license commenced, authority to make such bailment or grant such license. This section has two explanations, that is, the acceptor of a bill of exchange may deny that the bill was really drawn by the person by whom it purports to have been drawn. And if a bailee delivers the goods bailed to a person other than the bailer, he may prove that such person had a right to them as against the bailer. In the case Rajesh Wadhwa versus Dr. Sushma Goyal, the lease deed executed by landlady's father on behalf of the landlady. Eviction petition filed by the father under the power of attorney given by the landlady. Here, the tenant was estopped from taking the plea that the landlady's father was not duly constituted attorney to file the eviction petition. Now, let us discuss about the kinds of estoppel. Estoppel by record. When any court decides finally over a subject, then it becomes conclusive, and the parties, their representatives, executor, administrator, etc., becomes bound by that decision. They can neither bring another suit on the same subject, nor they can make the same subject disputed. They are stopped from doing so. This is called estoppel by record. The second type of estoppel is estoppel by deed. When any person becomes bound to another person on the basis of record regarding certain facts, neither that person nor his representative claiming through him shall be allowed to deny it. The third type of estoppel is estoppel by conduct. It is such estoppel which arises due to act, conduct, or misrepresentation by any party. When any person causes another person to believe by his word or conduct, or encourages him to believe, and the other person acts upon that belief and causes a change in his situation, then the first person is stopped from denying truthfulness of his statements made earlier. The fourth type of estoppel is equitable estoppel. Estoppel is a product of equity. Therefore, the court will have to go by equities on both the sides to maintain a balance. A man may be stopped not only from giving particular evidence, but also depending upon that particular agreement or contention that the rule of equity does not permit. The next kind of estoppel is estoppel by negligence. Estoppel by negligence is based on the existence of a duty which the person estopped is owing to the person led into the wrong belief or to the general public towards whom he has acted negligently through words or conduct. For plea of estoppel based on negligence to stand, the party must establish that the act of negligence was part of the transaction itself, and it should be so connected with the result to which it led that it would be impossible to consider these two separately. The next kind of estoppel is estoppel on point of law. There can be no estoppels on point of law. Estoppels cannot be imposed against statutes, as it would go against the public policy and general welfare of the society. Estoppel can only refer to the facts, not on the point of law. An agreement which is contrary to public policy cannot create an estoppel. The doctrine of estoppels is not applicable on questions pertaining to law, such as question of jurisdiction of the court. Another kind of estoppel is promissory estoppel. Once a party by his words or conduct makes a legally binding promise to another party, if the other party has acted upon these words or conduct, the one who made the promise or gave assurance cannot revert back to his previous position. He must concede to the existence of this legal relationship subject to the representation he introduced. By this, we come to the end of this topic. Thank you everyone.